What we're going to show you this morning is going to feel a little different, as Jerry suggested, from maybe some of the things that have come before. We're going to show you a video about a young woman named Liberty Bell, appropriately for Election Day, as it turns out. So what we're going to show you is the product of a project with a fairly deep history by now, but new momentum, thanks to its sponsors. So it's been going on for a few years and now has new support and new possible sites of impact within the university. So this is a project with a pretty simple premise, but complex in its operations about what it delivers. That we don't know as much about students here at Michigan State as we need to know to educate them well in their own interests and the interests of their communities. Easy to ask, hard to discover. So we were originally motivated to do this project by our suspicion as writing teachers that there was more we could know about our students relevant to their lives in the project of educating them. We, as writing teachers, we set up opportunities all the time to learn about students. But there's more we need to know, and so we set about finding it out. So we wanted to design a project that could teach us these things, though we didn't know what these things were yet, and in fact that was the whole point. We wanted to know what we didn't know that we didn't know. So we designed a project that was completely exploratory and video-based, and designed to work via a series of interviews and collaborations with students. So starting with the question, starting by interviewing students, finding out what narratives emerged, interviewing them more and again, and following them around, and then creating video pieces from footage in their home communities, and at some point giving them a camera and saying, so we're creating a story together about your life and your educational experiences. Go out into the world and show us things, and then making video products from these, with the assumption that the things we discovered and the things we could deliver would be revelations to other people as they have been for us. Okay, so we're going to show you one of these videos, one of several we've made. We have lots of footage, lots of videos, lots of things we could show you. So we're going to show you this.
All right, so you're going to see about 15 minutes worth of video. We spent about 4 years with this young woman that you're about to meet, Miss Liberty Bell from Flint, Michigan. And we followed her home to Flint, and you'll see some of that. We're hoping for some of our new people we're going to work with, potentially now to be from Costa Rica, so we can follow them home as well.
I'm convinced.
Completely convinced. And we will. I promise. And in the words of, after seeing what we've seen so far today, this is the real John Cleese moment. And now for something completely different. It's...
My name is Julie Lindquist, and I'm a professor of writing studies at Michigan State University. My colleague and I, Halbritter, are writing teachers who are also researchers. Our current project has a very simple objective: to see what we don't get to see in our everyday lives as writing teachers. Whether or not you're a native Michigander, you may know the town of Flint as the infamous subject of Roger and Me, Michael Moore's 1989 documentary about the closing of the General Motors Assembly and the effects of that event on the economy of Flint. It also happens to be the home of Miss Liberty Bell, a first-generation student now in her junior year at Michigan State University. Liberty was born shortly after the release of Moore's film. It was Liberty who first brought us to Flint and who showed us around the neighborhoods, the public spaces, and the former manufacturing centers of her hometown. In fact, she led us to this very place.
We met Liberty Bell when she was a first-year student at MSU, midway through her very first semester. Liberty's taken us not only through her first 3 years as a college student, but also to many of the places where she's lived and learned. And she's introduced us to the people in her life. Today you'll meet Liberty, see her hometown, and meet some of her family and friends. You'll get a chance to see what her life as a student is like, and you'll see it without seeing her classes, without meeting her teachers, and without visiting her dorm room.
Tell you about my name. Liberty Cuckwees Bell.
So do you like it when people ask you about it?
I'm like, it's become normal to me. Like, I don't care about it no more. At first, I was just like, what? I'm Liberty. Flint's a small, well, it's not a small community, but it's just like everything, when the shop was took out, jobs are gone. So it's nothing really for anybody to do, but, and like, they see school now as a waste of time. Like, what is reading a book gonna do for me if I sit down and read a book for like 2 hours, but actually it does do something which they don't know, because their parents are now too busy trying to provide these things for them that they never had, and that they spend so much time trying to do that they don't spend that time with those kids, and basically the streets teach them what they want to know. How are you?
I'm well.
Are you really well?
Well, no, I'm really a mess, but aside from that, I'm good.
Okay, so tell me about this mess. Get into detail. Break this down.
Well, you see, I'm trying to make this movie with this really exciting young woman.
Uh-huh.
And she keeps turning the camera on me.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Man.
I'm trying to figure out if I give her a camera and say, go show me the stuff that the world needs to see about your life. I'm wondering what it is that she's going to show us. And I'm wondering, because I want to be surprised, because that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in being surprised. And so I'm wondering, what would she show me that would be really surprising? What could she show this beaten down old professor to make him go, wow, now look at that, that's really interesting. I never knew that that's what was going on in the lives of at least these students. What would you show? What do you think you might show?
When I show you all kind of stuff, you give me a camera, I'll show you the world. This is my grandma, this is the neighborhood. And how does this apply to my literacy? Well, I'm gonna say these things like this, small things like small neighborhoods, communities, they shape me, who I am, where I come from. My stepbrother actually used to stay in this house with his mom. I don't know if we could see him in the film. Maybe, maybe not. And we are going to take a walk in this house. This is the pastor speaking, as you may hear him. And this is the dining room. These pictures that you're going to come up, each picture tells a story. Let me just say, hi Grandma. Hi, Grandma, I'm going to have to talk to you in a minute. I'm going to talk to you about my literacy. Do you know what literacy is?
Yeah, people that can't read, right?
I'm sorry?
People that...
Grandma.
People that can't read.
Is that literacy?
Illiteracy can't get a...
Not illiterate, literacy.
Oh,
Like,
I don't know. What does that mean?
so, what is literacy? That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. We'll talk to her later. No one in my family seems to understand what literacy is.
Nobody know? I heard about it, but I don't know it right now.
Nobody seems to know what literacy is.
Literacy.
So, I'm going to take you to meet some more of my family. This is the things that my grandmother has to take care of for my sister, as you can see, bathing, caring, because people with cerebral palsy need a lot of care. I can't really put together the words. And these are my papers. As you can see, I want to study abroad in Ireland. So, once again, how do I define my literacy? What is literacy? Is literacy this digital movie that I'm making? Is it writing a paper? Is it spending time in class or those other papers that I have to write on this long weekend? Is it studying, just reading, writing, arithmetic, math? What is literacy? Could it be found in pictures? Could it be found in the word of family, friends, houses, environment? What defines my literacy? This is one of my favorite pictures. One when I was a little girl, I was in the 4th grade. That was Liberty, the all-A student. And that's Giovanna, my sister, once again. And that right there, well, that's a graduation picture of me. That's who I perfect to be, you know. I was all jazzy, long, pretty hair, long hair, you know. It's pretty, you know. That's a good cut business look. You know, I want to be, I want to market. I don't know whether right now I want to market fashion design or whether I want to do sports management. You know, I got a lot of great ideas that I want to do. I have a lot of things and a lot of places I want to go. The world I want to change. I want to show you somebody in my grandmother's room. It might be creaky, but this is why I live. I don't know if this is a bad picture, but this is the reason I live. This is the reason that I study. Say hi, Giovanna. This is my sister, Giovanna. Now, right here we have Giovanna. Giovanna can't read, write. Giovanna has no spoken language but to holler. Giovanna, only way you know that Giovanna is something wrong with her is she hollers. She doesn't talk to us. She can't talk. She is my life though. You'll see her in a clearer picture, but right now you can't even see her because she's laying in the bed. This is a severe case of cerebral palsy. This is my sister, and this is the reason that I, in life, take advantage of a lot of opportunities because it is a person here today, right here, in my life, who never has dated, never has gotten into an argument or Giovanna, do you know what love is? Do we know what love is? And how does this define my literacy? You know, a lot of it has to do with her because I found myself train breaking for attention because I was taught to always help with her. I love my sister to death. You don't have no words for the camera? No words, guys, no words. And I'm going to take a break on that note, and I'll get back with you in a little while.
So how many people you grew up with, like you played with on your block, or people you know, went to school with, came to college, came to MSU, or went to college at all?
None. My whole, wait, I take that back. 2 of us left and went away. The rest of them, none of them left. Like every time so when I go home, it's like, if I don't make it at MSU, if I fail, you got all these kids looking at me and got hopes, put their hopes in me to see something change in the community, whereas they looking like, if she don't do it, there's no hope. And Whereas, like, so for me, there's no choice. There's just like, you gotta do it, cause you got the younger kids looking at you, and you even got the other kids, and they're like, man, I'm proud of you. Whatever you need, I got you. You know, you need some shoes, and you ain't got no shoes. That's cool. I got you, cause they want to see you make that change. It just proves to them that you can do something else by going to school and having an education, cause people don't see that.
Can we start out with the salon? Can you just talk about the salon?
Oh, okay. Well, we've been here for 6 years now. It'll be 7 years in May. And well, I've been doing hair for 19 years now. And I started doing Liberty hair since she was maybe 3 or 4.
You know, so we're a bunch of teachers, and we teach up at Michigan State, and we have students from all over Michigan. Is there anything what should we be paying attention to? What are important things that we might be missing?
We stand in a part of town where it's good and it's bad, you know, but it's up to us working together to get us out of this bad.
Right.
And if there's no communication, we still stuck at square one, trying to figure out what's
How to
the
get out
problem.
bad. Well, I just well, the idea of what you guys are doing now, I really like that, because it's like you're trying to get to know, the person. So if you guys could just get to know your students, I guess, a little more, and just try to get into them a little more, talk to them and just trying to feel them a little more, that could be one more student say,
Like me, I was afraid of a lot of my teachers.
Communication.
Absolutely. It was like, sit down, it's like a lot of teachers, I know y'all have a lot of things y'all have to do, but it's a lot of teachers doesn't have the time. And if you don't have the time for a kid sometimes a kid minds just say forget it.
Right.
And that's the hurting thing, especially in the black community. How many teachers does not tell 30 kids that they love them? Think about it.
All right. So there's a real snapshot look at some of the work that we did with Liberty over many years. And what we're doing right now is we've actually been charged with doing some more of these kinds of movies. And as you can imagine, I'll say right now, the mission here isn't to try to follow any one student and try to deliver the story about communities that they come from. Rather, the purpose here is to create opportunities for discussions, especially among educators who probably have very little experience with some of the complexities of the lives of lots of their students. And it's a place to start discussions, to start the conversation, to say, are we imagining how difficult things may be? And when we talk about difficulties and also talk about opportunities, are we even talking about the same kinds of things? And so that's what we hope this will do. And of course, we've gotten some recent help to go out and actually make some more of these. So in the course of the next year, in the next 8 months, we're going to make 4 more of these videos with other students here at the university. So we'll make 4. These are our methodology works in 5 phases. We do one interview here on campus, where the first interview we ask folks to come in with 3 artifacts, one to represent their past, their present, and their future selves. And from those artifacts, that's where we start to really define topics and interests in educational histories and things like that. And then we get together again at a second location, a location that the student actually chooses, and that serves as an artifact. As you saw, I don't know if you could really tell, but Liberty, of course, chose the MSU auditorium. So we met there, and that's where we had our second conversation. We meet a third time to actually think about, now that we know each other a little bit, where we may start to go together and what the project seems to be, what our common interests are. Hand over a camera, ask them to go out and collect some footage. They bring it back to us. We watch that together, and then we come up with a plan to do the 5th phase, and that's where we actually follow them to that home community and do some talking with the folks who are there. So like I said, the thing that we want these to do is create conversation starters for people who, especially in academic advising and support roles for these undergraduates. We're doing this with teams of graduate students from our department, Writing Rhetoric, American Cultures, and also from TE. And we've put those teams together at this point, and we're about to start actually recruiting the students to begin phase 1 of this. We'll be doing that here, across Michigan, and hopefully Costa Rica. And we'll hope to have 4 of these monsters created by June 30th, 2013. Questions? Yes? Yeah, we'll do several things with those. Some of that is going to, we've shown videos like this at academic conferences in our field, and we've circulated them that way. But what we're hoping we'll be able to do is use these as instructive conversation starters, much like the conflict resolution videos that Karen was talking about earlier. Ways to actually get folks to actually start thinking through some of the things that they'll do. So we're hoping to be able to share these with academic advisors and have that, have them be able to use these as conversation starters for their, for how they're doing their work. So lots of different kinds of purposes. Yeah.